Hello and welcome to the program. I am Bisi Adebayo. At least 30 people have been killed in landslides and flooding in the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Provincial Health Minister Dominic Wiloli says search and rescue efforts are still ongoing after the heavy rains. Witnesses say 5 children from the same family who drowned overnight in their home were among the dead. Flooding is a major peril for residents of Kinshasa, as many homes are built on hillsides where lack of drainage makes them vulnerable to mudslides and flash floods. And staying in the DRC, Catholic Church leaders have delivered a scathing condemnation of the government and the security forces that attacked churches, shooting at protesters during a matched accord to demand elections. The United Nations in Congo says 7 people were shot dead by security forces during the peaceful protest on December the 31st.
Residents of the Democratic Republic of Congo recount their painful ordeal during the deadly protest that saw the death of 7 people. On December 31st, 58-year-old Ujet Basonge joined fellow parishioners from the St. Joseph Church at the DRC capital, Kinshasa, to take part in the movement against President Joseph Kabila's refusal to step down from office. The police had banned demonstrations, saying all gatherings of more than 5 people would be dispersed to ensure public order. Basonge said she was singing hymns with other parishioners when the police fired tear gas and was injured as she fled.
We had carried effigies from the church and we were singing a song about the love of God. As we were singing, we saw a police officer in the jeep, dressed in his uniform, asking the policemen in front of us why they had allowed us to march all this way. He ordered the police to block our way and stop us from going further. We tried to resist, but we were really brutalized. The police brutalized us so much. I fell into the gutter. Children from the church came to help me out, and we started running as the police continued to fire tear gas.
Catholic activists had called for protest after Sunday's worship, 1 year after Kabila committed to holding an election to choose its successor by the end of 2017, an election that has now been delayed until December 2018. The delay has fueled suspicion that Kabila will try to remove constitutional term limits that forbids him to run again, as president in neighboring countries have done. Meanwhile, the Minister of Media and Communications said the police had acted within the law against the people wanting to destabilize the country.
Look at this, for example. This is proof. The remains of tear gas. This bullet case here, that was a live bullet fired by the Republican Guard. Yet, we carried nothing in our hands. We just had our rosaries, our crucifixes, our Bibles. We sang to the Lord. We were not threatening anyone, but unfortunately, this barbaric regime mistreated us like never before in this country.
Some 40% of Congo's population is Roman Catholic, and the church, which has mediated in the dispute with Kabila, it enjoys some public credibility, even though its leadership has not formally backed protest in the past.
We don't want to get involved in this game between the majority and the opposition. That's not our business. For us, it's the people, because we live for the people as pastors. Their anxiety, their hopes are ours. We carry them, and as Pope Francis says, we want to be the pastors that honor the flock, that touch the reality of life of our people, and with them to lead the struggle so as to get out of this deplorable situation.
Under an agreement on December 31st, 2016, Kabila was permitted to stay in office beyond the expiry of his mandate, but required to step down after an election to be held in 2017. Instead, Congo's Electoral Commission said later that the election will not be organized until December 2018. Dozens have died in protest over Kabila's future in the past 2 years and violence across the country.